Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ridhi. In case you're new here, welcome. I know, I look very weird sitting down here, but it's because I'm gonna share my eyeshadow palette collection today with you all. And this is where I store all of them. I live for some good eyeshadow palettes. I will say that I do have quite a bit, like more than anyone needs, but hey, I love my eyeshadow palettes, okay? So let me just cover up all of my Huda Beauty palettes first. So this is the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette, and easily this is one of my most favorite Huda Beauty palettes. Just take a look at these stunning colors. This one, I love the shade, but yes, it is a little chunky. I used this palette on my 20th birthday, I suppose. I really just grabbed these for some glitter shades, as you can see. Not even like touched these shades or even like this shade, because see, I have a lot of palettes, okay, and I do have these tones in some of the other palettes as well. This palette to me is just amazing for especially this pop of blue and then these lighter shades. I love this palette for that, but obviously if you want a neutral look, you can get it from this palette. Then we have the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. It's not a completely nude palette, it's more like a pinky mauve nude palette, as you can see. And one thing that I would like to say about Huda Beauty is that you don't need all of the Huda Beauty palettes, because you can find some of the really similar shades. Like in here, Spanged, I would say, is really similar to Hot Mess. Lace is quite a bit similar to Libra. They are different, but they are similar enough that you won't be able to see the difference on eyes, you know. If I had to choose one, I will obviously go with the Mercury Retrograde. Even the packaging calls my name and all of those glitter toppers. Chef's kiss. Now I have the Huda Beauty Obsessions palette. The only one that I don't own from the Obsessions collection is the Amethyst Obsession, which is the purple one, and I will let you know why. Emerald Obsessions. I love tiny palettes with like a one single color scheme. I just think that they're like so easy to use, you know, user friendly, easy to create looks. And I will have to say that I'm not much of a green eyeshadow girl. As much as I love the shade right over here, I don't use very much of this palette because I don't like green eyeshadows on me. The Ruby Obsession. This one has to be my favorite. I love these tones. They just look so pretty in contrast with my eye color, which they are sort of like, I don't know, hazel green sort of. But these shades really make my eyes pop. I don't know, I just love my berry tones and my pinkier tones. Then coming to the Sapphire Obsessions. Blue I sort of can pull off in my eye looks if I just use like a little hint of it. Again, green and blue I just think are really sort of like dramatic colors for my eye look, and I don't really seem to go for them. But if I want to create something unique, something colorful, these really do come in handy. And this shade right over here has my heart. This one is such a pretty pop. I don't know what it is doing in this palette, honestly, but I do at times love to use this shade in my inner corners. Topaz Obsessions palette, very travel friendly. You can't go wrong with these shades. They're just gonna look pretty no matter what. This palette just sort of looks new to me. Oh my god, but I love the mustardy tones. They just look so pretty, especially in spring and summer. So yeah, if you love your warm tones and you're just starting out, you just want something very simple or something to travel with, like these are really small. They're like the size of my palm. So yeah, very travel friendly, very user friendly. Now the Topaz Obsessions was for my warm tone lovers. If you love your cooler neutral eyeshadows. So this is from the first ever Obsessions line from Huda Beauty, and I only got the smoky Obsession because at that time when I got it, I really didn't have any cooler tone eyeshadow palettes and I really wanted it. You got your silver, you got your black, you got your neutral browns, you got your transition shade, and you got some shimmers to go with them. You can't go wrong with this palette. Now, this one. This is one of my new palettes. This is the Dose of Colors Cutting Edge palette. I get all of my Dose of Colors or any international stuff, mostly from Beauty Bay. This came in Shattered and I am really upset because look at this shade. It's like so pretty, so metallic, so like almost wet. I did get a little bit of refund on it. I did sort of complain about it. Both of my shimmer shades were Shattered and I sort of know why. These are very softer pressed shimmer shades. Now these are the sort of greens that I can sort of use. These are very neutral, cooler tone greens. So yes, if you want me to do an eye look using this palette or any of these in here, you can let me know in the comments down below, but I'm really excited to use this one, especially the shimmers in here. So this is sort of a new packaging, which is like a matte velvety sort of a texture, and this is how the old packaging looked, very metallic. So this one is Blushing Berries, and I have to say this is one of my favorite palettes. As I told you guys with the Huda Beauty Ruby Obsessions, I just love these tones, and if you ask me to choose one, I will choose this one anytime over the Huda Beauty one. It is the most prettiest palette ever. I know it looks very boring, but on eyes it's really pretty. Trust me, try this palette. And also the quality of Dose of Colors eyeshadows are unbeatable, okay? One of the best eyeshadow formulas ever. This is the only Natasha Denona palette that I have for obvious reason. Natasha Denona is really expensive. So this is the mini nude palette, and I obviously went with this one with my neutral tones, you know, because I know that I will get some use out of it. And yes, I will have to say it that Natasha Denona eyeshadows are... So if you can sort of invest in buying Natasha Denona eyeshadows, give them a try. They are really pretty. And I went nuts for the E.L.F. bite-sized shadows as soon as they launched in India. Just so travel friendly. Look at their size. Like these are like so inexpensive, but the quality in here is honey. Again, if you have not tried the E.L.F. bite-sized shadows, you're missing on some great eyeshadow quality, and for that price, you should not skip on them at all, okay? And during sales, you just don't have to think about them, just grab them. So if you love your neutrals, get this one. This is Truffles. If you love something softer than that, neutral leaning a little bit more towards warm, get Cream and Sugar. Like, I love to use this shade as a highlighter. It's like so pretty. Even this is a very neutral palette. This is Pumpkin Pie, and this caramel shade right over here. I live for these caramelly shades. They just have something that just makes your eyes look so pretty. And this is Berry Bad. You can skip on this, honestly. I know I've been repeating myself over berry shades, but it does not have any like matte berry shades. This shimmer is the only berry shade in here. So if you want me guys to create eyeshadow looks using these E.L.F. bite-sized shadows, I would love to do that for you guys, honestly. I have used these E.L.F. bite-sized shadows in my full face of first impressions using all of the E.L.F. makeup products. You should definitely watch that video to see how these shadows perform and see my review on rest of the e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes, okay? Now this is the Nika Eyes on Me palette. If you want to see this, if you want to see these shadows perform, you guys should check out my... I honestly don't remember in which video I used this palette. So I will link that video in the description bar below. You got your lighter neutrals, you got your deeper neutrals, you got some shimmery shades, which honestly, not the biggest fan of these shimmery shades, but the matte shades are really nice in here. But honestly now, just go with the e.l.f. one, okay? Coming to this one, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerate. Now honestly, if you want to know my opinion on this palette, on Charlotte Tilbury products overall, check out my New Year's Eve makeup look. I have used all the Charlotte Tilbury products that I own in that video. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. So these are from Juvia's Place. I love this packaging, and this brand was created by a Nigerian woman especially for people with color. So this is the Zulu palette, and you got your rainbow colors in here. And honestly, the shadow quality is so amazing, so pigmented. Look at those. Oh my god. If you just hate all the eyeshadow palettes because you don't get any pigment in them and they do not show up on your skin, try the Juvia's Place eyeshadow palettes. This is the Festival by Juvia's. Again, quite a colorful palette. I don't know, when I got these, I was just in mood for colors, you know. Usually I am a neutral gal, but I just thought that if I'm trying a new brand, why not try this? Now these three are my Anastasia palettes. I have to say that I do really love the Anastasia's eyeshadow quality. So this is the Jackie Aina palette. This is one of my favorite palettes ever. Like, not just favorite in the Anastasia's collection, but a favorite palette overall. These tones, these shades just have my heart. You know, I'm a purple girl, so I got a purple matte, I got a purple shimmer, and oh my god, this shimmery red. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like such a fiery color. I love it. You know, I love my browns so much. Like, if I were to create a palette, it would be very similar to this one, honestly, because these are my shades, honestly. This is one that I would love to like travel with, you know. This one again is for my cool girls, the Sultry palette. Now, as you can see that there is a ton of similarity between the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions and the Anastasia Sultry palette. Now, obviously, you get a lot with the Anastasia Sultry palette, but the Huda Beauty one is like travel friendly. So, honestly, you can go with either one. It's just such a sultry palette. I love me some neutral browns. They just look so eye-catchy and so sexy. Oh my god. You all might already know about this palette, the Modern Renaissance by Anastasia. It's in a very bad condition. Everyone went gaga over this palette. People were just into like orangey, berry, warm, ready tones, and this just gave you all of that. And as you can see, I've used and abused this palette a lot, okay? Okay, so that's it for the bottom drawer. Now let's get to the top drawer. I do have some more palettes that are not stored in here. I'll just bring them for you guys and we will talk about them later, okay? So, coming to this drawer, let me just talk about this one at first because this is a newer palette. So this is the Metallic Mysteries 2 by Linda Hallberg. I know that I'm not saying it right. Anyways, so this is a very expensive eyeshadow palette, but I got it only because it was on sale. So I hit the gun because I really wanted to try this eyeshadow palette for the longest time. I love eyeshadows. I love to try new formulas. I love to try new brands when it comes to eyeshadows. Ta-da! Oh my god, look at this beauty right over here. It just is something. You just wait till you see this. Are you like ready for it? Just look at it. Oh my god, I die for these metallic glittery top coat sort of shades. Talking about some top coat shades, this is the Juvia Skinny Tip Ultra Foil Shimmer Shadows. These are basically all the shimmer shades. Let me just swatch this one for you. Look at the shade right over here. It's just so pigmented and so pretty. So these are all glittery shades, but the quality is one of the best glittery shades ever. Even this is a very new palette. I used this palette on my 22nd birthday. This is the Eyeshadow Beauty, I suppose it is called Beauty, the Paradise Fallen eyeshadow palette. I am just a purple mauve eyeshadow lover, and it just gives me all of it. Now as you can see, I have not really used this palette. I have just used this palette on my birthday, so I'm yet to try all of the rest shades, but this just performed so good. It's really difficult to formulate purple eyeshadow palettes, so if this is good, I'm pretty sure all of it will be amazing. Let me just talk about these two palettes over here. These are one of my oldest palettes ever. This is the L'Oreal something. You can't find it anymore. This is probably expired. I have just kept it because I am really attached to this palette. As I told you guys, it is one of my first eyeshadow palettes. I have used this palette like nothing else. I just gotta keep it for that. Coming to this one, the NYX ColorPop palette. This is a very bad palette, let me tell you. The quality in here is not nice. But this shade right over here, this is the shade that made me fall in love with these mustardy tones. It just looks so pretty on your eyes. As you can see, not at all pigmented. I'm keeping it for nostalgic reason. This has traveled with me a lot. With this shade, I just can't part my ways, okay? As we're talking about NYX, let's talk about the NYX Off Tropic palette. I mentioned this palette in my top 5 best drugstore palettes. If you haven't watched that video, again, I will leave a link to that video in the description bar. It's just beautiful. You got some pop of shades, you got your neutrals, and the quality in here is pretty amazing. Now these are the two Wet n Wild color iconic palettes I own. The formula in here is amazing, and the price is more than amazing. So this one is Nude Awakening, which is a very cool tone palette, a pretty dupe for the Anastasia's Sultry palette. Shimmers aren't that good, but the matte shades are so amazing. Now this one is Rosé in the Air, a perfect dupe for the Anastasia's Modern Renaissance palette. You got all of those shades in here. Again, shimmers aren't really that good, a little powdery, but shimmers aren't bad. They are workable, but mattes just take the cake. I got this palette from London. This is the Estée Lauder Bronze Goddess. I guess that I just got it for the packaging alone. Look at that presentation, but the shadow quality is really nice, and it's just your neutral palette. As I'm doing this video, I'm just realizing how many of neutral shadows do I have and how many do I need. I don't know, okay? This is the ColorPop All I See Is Magic palette. I have really used this palette a lot. It just is such a pretty palette. These sort of shades that transition from blue to brown, my heart lies in them. I love duochrome shades so much, and the shadow quality again is amazing. I really need to start using this palette again because I have not used this in a while. This is the Nika Mocha Mix palette. Again, a neutral palette, but this is pretty different. I don't know how do I call it different, but it is quite a pinkier neutral. It is such a cheap palette, but the quality is amazing, and I do really love this palette. If you love these sort of neutral shades, you should definitely give this one a try. Coming to this one, the ColorPop It's My Pleasure palette. Again, one of my favorite palettes because I love my mauve purpley tones And this is the reason why I didn't get the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette, because it mostly got the same colors and I really couldn't justify getting a same palette all over again and like more expensive than this. And the shadow quality in here is amazing, and I also included this palette in my 1000 subscribers giveaway because I really love this palette. If you guys do love pinkier, mauvier, purple tones, give this one a try. Get your hands on this baby. Coming to this one, an Indian owned makeup brand, Huda Beauty. This is all I need eyeshadow palette. This is one of my top favorites easily. As I told you guys about the Anastasia's Jacqueline palette, this one gives me all that I need, you know. It got your black, it got your transition lighter shades, it got your mustardy tones, it got your warmer neutral browns, it got your berry tones, it got a shimmery purple, a shimmery blue that is super amazing. Guys, please go ahead and support your Indian owned brands. This is easily a top notch eyeshadow palette, and it is very similar to this baby right over here. This is my favorite palette ever. Like, this has to be my #1 palette, and the Anastasia one has to be my #2. This is the Dose of Colors. I told you guys I love Dose of Colors eyeshadow quality. This is the Daisy X Katie Francation palette. I can't ever get enough of this palette. These shimmers, oh my, swatch them for you guys. These are like glittery heaven. Here are the swatches for the glittery shades. I honestly don't know if this eyeshadow palette is like still available or not, but in case you can find it somewhere, hit the gun, guys. Yes, Dose of Colors is expensive, but this eyeshadow palette is life, okay? It's life. I don't know if you guys can tell it or not, but these palettes do definitely share some similar tones. This is the NYX Perfect Filter eyeshadow palette. Again, I mentioned this one in my top 5 best drugstore palettes. These aren't pigmented shadows, but that's what I love about them. I love the mattes in here, and also the shimmers aren't really that shimmery. They're like real soft shimmers, and it just sort of ends up creating a very sophisticated sort of a look. This has to be my most used palette in my entire collection. This is the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill palette, the first one. Yes, I have used and abused this so much. If you guys don't know, I did do a makeup diploma from Pearl Academy. This is the only palette I took with me because it just got it all, as you can see. So if you are a makeup artist and if you're looking for a palette that just has it all, get this one. Honestly, I don't grab for bigger eyeshadow palettes anymore because this is the one that I will take out with me if I am going out for makeup. I don't really open this up when I'm doing my makeup because I sort of know what I want to do, and I just sort of grab the palette that I know will work, and even this will work. I don't know what I'm saying. Basically, I don't reach for bigger palettes, but I knew it before getting the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Volume 2. I really had to get it because I love Jaclyn Hill. For all that I know about makeup, I credit it all to Jaclyn Hill. I have learned it all from Jaclyn Hill. So I really like to support her. Extreme opposite. Look at these pinkier tones. Look at these purples. You still got your neutrals up here. You got your berry tones. You got your reds. You got your neons. Oh my god, this is such a pretty palette as I'm looking in it. I really need to create more looks using this palette because this is stunning palette. It's just so... oh my god. I love you. Such a pretty palette. I need to use this more. It just deserves so much more love than I give it, you know. So this is the Game of Colors by Flikka Cosmetics. Again, Flikka is an Indian brand. I don't know why it is still in its packaging, okay? Because I love the exterior packaging more than the interior packaging. It is sort of cheap from interior. This one also got your pressed glitters. Really chunky glitters. And my only conflict with this palette is that it mostly have shimmers and not enough matte shades to create a look, but otherwise it's a pretty palette, okay? I have 2 Morphe palettes right over here. Coming to this one, this is the Morphe 35B palette. So this is the color palette from Morphe. It just got all of your rainbow colors, but now this one is discontinued since the James Charles palette has came in. I didn't got that one because I got this one. I've heard that the quality in that is much better. Anyways, this is discontinued, but again I used it as a makeup artist. You know, whenever I needed color, this is the one that I went for. This is the Morphe Dare to Create 39A palette. So this one has 39 shade. This is the largest palette in my collection. Got some really beautiful tones. Like these greens I will use, these blues I will use, but again I don't grab for bigger palettes. I wish I did because the quality is super amazing. I love it, but I just don't use it. These are my last few palettes and these all are from Makeup Revolution. Now when I turned 18, I went blackout on Makeup Revolution website and I got a lot of Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palettes, which in these years I definitely have decluttered. Right now I have 5 of the Makeup Revolution palettes. I think that I had over 10. I also had the chocolate ones. I was not using them since I got these ones in here. So this is the Makeup Revolution Makeup Geek palette. You got all the rainbow shimmers you will need, and honestly the quality in here is not bad, but I just don't grab for it. This is the Ultra Professional Flawless Matte Eyeshadow Palette. Honestly, I don't know why I had that one. It just lacks all the colors. It is such a boring palette, like such like dull neutrals. They all might look same on the eyes, you know. I don't know what I was thinking back then. This is the Ultra Professional Eyeshadow Eyes Like Angel. This is such a pretty palette. I just really can't part my ways with it. And again, the quality is really nice. These are creamy eyeshadows, Redemption Palette Matte Brights. So this, oh my god, these are like so old. I have used and abused this white shade. I used to use this shade as an under eye brightener because this was so white. It really used to give me that bright under eye effect. But colorful eyeshadows are really hard to formulate, and this is not the best quality ever, honestly. And this is the Salvation palette. Okay, again a colorful one. It got your neons, and this shade used to be my favorite. I don't know what was it about. You know what, guys? I am going to declutter this palette. I am going to declutter this palette. No, this one I'm not decluttering. I love this one with my whole heart. This one I am going to declutter. Even this one I'm going to declutter. Okay, so out of those 5, I'm just gonna keep this one, the Eyes Like Angel palette. I don't know. I'm not ready to part my ways with this one. So this is staying in my collection. Okay, so that's it for the video, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed my eyeshadow palette collection. If you guys want me to create an eyeshadow look using any of these eyeshadow palettes over here, I would love to do that for you guys. So you can just leave your suggestions in the comments down below, and also let me know what else do you guys want to watch from me, and I will see you all next time. Till then, stay safe, stay happy. Bye.